concrete. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we are going to get a pile of regular dirt so we don't kill these truck drivers by dropping concrete in the back of the trucks. It will ring their bells. They will not like it. And if they make you mad, feel free to just drop concrete straight in the back. Go over there to that dirt pile, and we are going to get some dirt, put it in the back of their bucket so they don't cry when you drop the concrete. So that's what truck drivers do. In the words of my Hispanic colleagues, that's dudo. It means it's a little too hard. I think we'll clean the windows off for you guys. This is the way we go to load trucks. You're essentially just repeating the same action over and over. That is insanity. This truck driver is just a little bit too close, because that's also what they do. They park where they want when they want. See, in a perfect world, when you load trucks, they park in a place where you can just pull in, collect your material, and dump it right back off. But luckily, I got a guy here that is, he's a superstar, and he is going to park where he wants when he wants to. That's also what truck drivers do. We are going to put on some dark glasses because it is starting to get bright out. So we're going to load them nice and soft. We're not going to be a complete butthole today. We'll see how this afternoon works out, though. It might get hot, you never know. Make a little side cut. Try to get that material pushed back into the center, so it's just easier to load. And it seems like we got a big old bite that time. Yeah, this girl's hungry. She's gonna eat today. We're gonna feed her. We're gonna feed her good. going to be my first YouTube video where I actually talk. I'm probably going to do some bad operating because my mind is split. But we're going to do the best we can with what we got. It is a big honking tractor. It is a 572 John Deere front end loader. And it'll move some dirt. She certainly ain't the biggest, but she certainly ain't the smallest. Ordinarily, I load my trucks front to back, but with concrete, it's a little bit more difficult to pick out where your bucket is at. So I just kind of gauge it, and I see what side of my bucket has the most material in it, and I usually go to that side of the truck to unload it. So if I get a lot of material on my right side of my bucket, I will actually take and dump to the right side of the truck to fill the back end up a little bit better. And if I do notice that I have a lot of material on my left side of my bucket, I generally will load on the front side, just trying to make as much volume in the truck as I can. Because it's real easy to stack a truck improperly where you can't get all the material in, and then you're just wasting money on a dump truck showing up to your job site. And it turns out the bosses do not like that. Yeah, they're watching. They're looking to see how much dirt you got in your truck. Or in this case, concrete. That's a big piece of concrete. It probably weighs 500 pounds, maybe 600. But this tractor here will pick up about 3,000 pounds. I suspect it might be more. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments. Someone that can actually operate, not someone that was hired as a token operator. And like I said, we're going to try to dump it slow and smooth because you can drop a 600 piece-pound of concrete in the back of this truck and it will knock the teeth out of that driver. He will not like it. He will be sad. And there's really nothing you can do about it, but you know, we all try to work together. And we'll just continue to work our pile left, right, and center. So essentially what I'm doing is I am scooping from the right side, and then I will scoop from the left side, and then I will scoop at the center. And the reason why that is just kind of trying to keep my material pushed together. The concrete will kind of spread out if you're not pushing it very well, and it just adds extra work. In construction, the name of the game is to complete a task with the least possible movements as you can to save time and money, because construction job sites absolutely are forking over insane amounts of money to build these projects. You know, this project here is probably about $100 million. The company side that I'm on is probably about $20 million worth of work that we're personally doing. And they let you get all the overtime you want. They let you work just about as much as you physically can. They don't really want to break you, but at the same time, there is a deadline, and you have to meet those deadlines. So you work as much as it needs to until the next project. See it, but that piece was a little bit big and it dropped into a portion of the bed that is near about empty. You can hear it bounce off the bed. Usually you can put a load of dirt in there and it'll soften it up. Just, you know, being courteous to the drivers, you don't have to do it. There's no rule in the book that says you have to do it, but it is definitely something you do to, you know, make a difference. Because, you know, if they don't like you loading them, they might not come back as quick, and then all of a sudden you got a gap and you're sitting there in your tractor not making money for the company, because that's what this all is. At the end of the day, you are trying to provide a service the best you can and make these guys money. And in turn, they pay you very well. People would be very surprised at what construction workers these days make. It's a big difference though from what it used to be, because it used to be, you know, you really didn't make that much. You worked really hard and you just didn't make that much. But unfortunately, because of the times we're in, people not wanting to work, they're finding they're having to just pay people a fair amount more to get them to show up to work, which is good for people that already show up to work, because they get the bonuses and the advantages of that as well. Because the company's not going to take and pay somebody that won't show up to work significantly more money than somebody that will. So when these people are getting hired and they're having to pay them more money, they do pay the original operators and construction workers more money, because they know that, you know, someone that's been doing this for 20 years, you know, they're not going to put up with someone that's been doing it for 6 months coming in and just instantly making more money than they are when they can't do the job the same or as well or anything like that. So, you know, it's really just a symbiotic relationship when it comes to pay and stuff like that. And but it's pretty good, you know. You know, construction, you work a lot of hours. Without question, you work a lot of hours. And it pays off, though, because it can give you a lot of money. This truck driver is running around his truck like a chicken with his head cut off because, you know, some truck drivers want to tell you how to do your job, but the truth is, they can just sit in the truck and just sit there, be quiet. If they don't like the way it's loaded, they can complain after it's done. But they can't be out of the truck complaining because it is very dangerous when you're lifting up, you know, 500 to 1,000 pound blocks of concrete and dumping it, you know, 12 feet over their head. So we will try to avoid that because we just don't want to hurt anyone, even if they are running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Alright. Yeah, I think I'm gonna probably put a little bit more on it, bud.
Why you trying to give me?
I don't know, make sure I don't short myself.
My box is for 20, but they only pay me for 18.
There's not 18 in it, I promise.
Oh God!
Oh no, you know that ain't 18.
You know that truck right there? They pay me the same. I don't know why they do that when they do haul off.
Yeah.
They don't pay you different.
Huh.
You know, I hold two times extra. Yeah, it's almost full. I mean, you can put a little bit in the bag. But
now we'll let you go on this one. I'll load you a little bit different last time. Oh, you got me marked down for 24.
Yeah, 24, but they don't pay me for it.
Huh.
Yeah, because one time I put 12, they only got 12. They don't got no. They got 18, but I hold 20. But like I say, believe it or not, they don't. I don't know why. I really don't like to do that much haul because they, you know, I know that you or the customers trying to get rid of this material, but you know, I know you have to pay for that. Yeah. You can put a little bit more in the bag.
No, you're good. We'll get on the next round.
What else you got? Just this pile?
Yeah, just this pile.
That's all.
That's it.
So we do about 3 loads, 4 loads. Probably.
Yeah, I think I just have you 2 trucks today, so probably I would say, just looking at it, I probably have 6 to 8 loads. I'd say 6 to 8 loads probably.
I'll be back.
All right, man. We'll see you then. Hey, you have a good trip. And in case anyone's wondering what just happened there, this is a dump truck that holds 24 tons. And he said he's only getting paid for 18 tons, so he only wants me to load 18 tons in his truck. Well, that's just not how construction works. You load that bad boy as though you don't know how much is in it. You don't try to overload them because you don't want to send these guys on the road on the highway to get pulled over by a DOT. So you do have to be conscious about that. You can't really just... Oh. Yeah, come on up, bud. Yeah, you're good. And what we got now is a dump truck driver trying to figure out where to park. And we're going to help him out there because if he parks in a good spot, I get to load him very easily. And we'll call that good. And let's go get him a load of dirt over here from this pot. Make sure we're just doing our due diligence and not, you know, rattling the teeth out of a truck driver. Like I said, you rattle too many teeth in a truck driver, they might not come back as quick. And this is pretty much what the beginning part of my day is like. We do swap to different equipment. We do things like run mini X's. We also have a 650K bulldozer. This is John Deere. It's a real good piece of machinery, real powerful. I like it for its size. It'll do just about anything you need, but sometimes you do need a bigger machine depending on the amount of material you are trying to move. And there we go. And we'll just get a little scoop of dirt in there, and we'll just, you know, be kind. No need to kill any truck drivers. But you do have to watch out because you get a truck driver like the last one that just immediately when he pulled up, he gets out and he's already telling me how to load his truck. Well, unfortunately, the only person responsible for this machine is me and anything around this machine, which means, you know, they can try to tell you how to do it, but at the end of the day, you are responsible. You are the one that determines what this machine does. And the moment you start letting other people tell you how to physically operate the machine, you start running into situations where you could in fact get someone hurt because you're not doing what you're accustomed to or you're trained to, or just however it is that you do your business when it comes to operating. So always remember, operating, you are the end responsibility. If you hurt someone or kill someone, you could go to jail depending on the situation. I mean, it is something that happens. It is rare. But yeah, occasionally people do go to jail for hurting people on equipment because they weren't paying attention, they came to work drunk, they were on drugs, you know, just anything you can think of. There's always a reason that you could get in trouble if you're not, you know, doing how you're supposed to do. You know, operating the machine in a safe manner, not overloading your bucket, and you know, of course not having just concrete and debris falling out of your bucket, because that's one thing that can happen, and that's why the dump trucks need to stay. The dump truck drivers need to stay inside of their cab, because these pieces of rock, if they hit you in the head, like that's it. These things right here are big enough and heavy enough that if they land on you, you're pretty well shot. Like that's about it. You know, you might not die, but you certainly might not want to live either after that. It'll definitely do some real damage. So on the first load, I'm just gonna dump it nice and easy, and you can always tell if you're doing a good job because the dump truck won't shake and rattle. Like you can see it. Like when you drop a big piece of concrete one on accident, I mean, it will absolutely shake the truck. It'll also shake the tractor as well. And like I said, this is a 571 John Deere front end loader. Not the biggest, not the smallest, but definitely for what we're doing here, the scope of work that we're doing here, not bad, not bad. And that is also another problem with concrete. So the concrete will get kind of wedged together. So sometimes you will go to scoop a bucket load of it, and it just will be so packed together that you can't get in it, almost like a Tetris block. It's just 100 little pieces that are so intertwined that it's almost like one solid piece. All right, we'll see if we can't flick this little bucket. So what I got right now is just some concrete pieces sitting on the edge, and I don't really want that so it doesn't land on their tarp arms or anything like that. So what I do is I give it a little flick with the joystick, which is on the right. This machine here is operated with 2-foot pedals. One is a brake, one is obviously a gas pedal. And then you have a joystick on your right that basically controls all your real functions. I mean, it controls your attachments, it controls the bucket, the rolling of the bucket, everything. So it's pretty much, you operate this tractor with 2 feet, your left hand to steer, and your right hand to operate what can only be described as a fighter pilot joystick. Never, probably not near as fun, because you're not flying, but you are moving heavy material, so hey, yeah, go for that. Blue team go, blue team go. Oh yeah, like see this right here? This is a big old chunk of concrete that I'm going to try to dig out and drop in this truck. Now, he is not going to be happy about it, but he's also, it's just how it's going to be. So what I'm doing is there's a big old piece of concrete, so I'm kind of trying to maneuver my tractor around and up under it so I can scoop it. See it right there? That's a big old piece of concrete. Alright, that might not come out right yet, so what we are going to do is we're going to attack this side over here and see if we can't work some material out from around that. And then we'll actually come back to that big piece and I will dig it out, and then I will load it. Now that big piece is definitely a piece of concrete that can damage a truck, damage equipment, so we're going to have to be really, really careful about how we do this. But that's okay, because it turns out that's the job. And that's how we roll. Actually, we roll on the 571 loader, but you know, it is what it is. And in case y'all are wondering, I am videotaping on an Android phone. It is an S8, because, you know what, I'm practically homeless, it seems. Not really, but, you know, it's a joke. And I use a camera pod that I got from my dad for my phone for the trip out to Texas. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take these 2 little pieces out from around that big piece, like so. Got it! And look, see that? We're going to get that big piece out a little bit more. And we're going to dump these in there, and then hopefully on the next bucket I can grab that big piece. And in fact, what I'll probably do is take my bucket, flip it down, and I will actually pull that chunk of concrete back to where I can get to it. And I do apologize for the video. I have made a few videos, but none of them are me talking, and none of them are very, you know, lengthy or anything like that. It's pretty much just monster truck videos and a few other small things that I've seen along the way. Nothing major, but I hope you guys enjoy it regardless, because that's really what this is about. I just, you know, looking for something to kind of entertain me while I do my job. So if you'll notice, what I'm trying to do really hard is flip this and I didn't flip it, but I think we got it to a place that I can grab it. And look at that. We got that monster. Now, we have got to be super duper careful about how we load this, because this piece right here will hurt. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come up here to about the center, so it's not in a real bad spot. And then I'm going to gently lay it in. I'm not going to go completely over the dump truck. I'm just going to put the edge of my bucket at the dump truck, because I'm really just trying to set it in there, which sometimes is not possible. But I do have a little bit of material already in there. And alright, it looks like that big old honking chunk of concrete is hanging off the other side. So what I am about to do is we're going to drive over here to this side. And see if we can't flip a little U-ey right here. And without hitting anything, because sometimes these are very tight spots to get into. So, I'm going to turn around right here. Right here. And I don't know if this concrete is too big to be in that truck. Oh, that's okay, a problem. That's alright, though. We're going to find out today. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take it, grab it, and see if I can just maneuver this thing into the back of that truck. Alright, see how slightly we're going to do that? We're just going to ease it on in there. See how I'm turning it real slightly? I don't know if you can see it. That might actually be out of the camera, so I'm just going to... There we go. And... just move it a little bit more. We're going to use a tractor to do it, so it's not too big a deal. See how I'm doing that? We're just using her on over. And I will go ahead and use it a little bit more if I can. There we go. And that will work. Now we are not going to put a whole lot on this truck because of that big ass piece. I'm guessing it'll come out. If not, the dump truck driver will complain. And I'll be honest with you, that one will be on me, because that was a big old chunk of freaking concrete. Now we got to be careful not to hit the dump truck, run over a rock pile. These loaders are really susceptible to being tipped over because they are not very suspension friendly. It's a very rigid tractor, so if you get one tire up just a little bit, it wants to pull another tire off and peek around. So let me flip around here. And we'll grab some more concrete. But again, we do have to be careful because that is a massive piece, and we don't want to get him in a situation where he gets to where he's dumping and he physically can't dump because you just simply put in too much concrete, which can happen. And after this truck, I will actually take and go get a bulldozer, and then I will use the bulldozer to push that rock pile back out where it's a little bit easier to grab a hold of. But I won't be videoing that because I really just don't have a good setup for everything just yet. It took me a few minutes this morning to just get this where I could videotape it, quite possibly not very well. But it did take me a little bit of time this morning. So as far as getting one with the bulldozer today, I don't think I'll be able to. Like I said, this is just my Samsung phone and a little cheap camera stand that probably came from Walmart. It was just given to me and I am using it. Alright, there's another one. I have no idea if that concrete's going to come out. It does have me slightly worried. So any operators out there just saw what I did, you know. You know. You've loaded concrete before. You put a piece in that was probably too big. It's alright though. So bad once it starts getting to the top of the truck because you're just simply not dropping the material as far. And the less you have to drop the material, the better off it is. Which is why when you're starting, you really try to get your bucket in there pretty good, just so you know you're not, damaging people. Alright, I think this right here will actually be my last sweep of this truck. So what we'll do is we will honk at him. We just give 2 little honks and continue on about our day. And he'll come out, he'll give me a slip of paper, and then I am going to shut the video off, because like I said, this is really my first time trying to videotape operating. I hope you've enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed making it. Definitely gave me a nice little break from my normal routine. I'm also trying to do it in a fashion that is safe. So I don't want to get someone hurt doing this, or anything that distracts my attention. I don't really want to have any of those issues. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. It's just a little quick 2-truck video. It's nothing major, nothing too special, but I just want to bring you along, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.